If you have a preschooler, you need to completely stop worrying about whether or not they are naturally gifted at reading or math. We are constantly sold this lie that early academic success is all about innate talent, which makes parents panic the absolute second their kid hits a learning wall. However, what nobody tells you is that a structurally average 4-year-old can completely outperform a physically gifted child by doing just one simple thing. It's a biological mechanism called cognitive compounding. As a dad of 2 who actually built an educational platform to test this, I can prove it to you. Here is the highly specific, 10-minute daily habit that relies purely on reps to guarantee academic growth. To understand how cognitive compounding actually works, we have to look exactly at the timeline of early childhood education. If you don't aggressively build a structural foundation before they reach first grade, you are setting them up for a massive struggle. By age 6, the massive gap between a child who compounded their learning daily and one who only studied sporadically is essentially impossible for the traditional school system to fix. You're probably thinking, but I don't want to burn my kid out by forcing them to study all the time. However, the absolute worst possible mistake ambitious parents make is trying to cram a week's worth of learning into a massive 2-hour tutoring marathon on a Sunday afternoon. When you force a 5-year-old to grind through boring workbooks for hours, you accidentally teach them that learning is a punishment. You have to fundamentally shift your strategy to prioritize frequency over sheer volume. Instead of a grueling weekend marathon, you must deploy a structured daily sprint. We call these micro habits. It is exactly like physical strength training. Doing 10 minutes of intense, focused reps every single day is vastly superior to working out once a week for 2 hours. But why does this 10-minute sprint work so profoundly on preschoolers? Because to accelerate learning, you actually have to hack their biology while they are asleep. If a child only sees a math concept on Tuesday and then doesn't see it again until Saturday, the brain treats that information as irrelevant. When your child learns a new skill, their brain physically prunes unused neural connections overnight to save energy. If you rely on sporadic, random bursts of teaching whenever you have the time, you are actively letting their brain delete the very skills you are trying to build. You are taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back. The solution is to use daily repetition to hack that pruning mechanism. Daily exposure signals directly to their biology that this specific skill is absolutely essential to keep for their survival. The brain realizes, oh, I need this information every day. I better strengthen this pathway. You literally wire their brain for long-term retention simply by showing up for a few minutes every 24 hours. But there is a mathematical secret to this habit that completely destroys the concept of natural talent. To truly unlock elite academic performance, you have to treat their daily study time exactly the same way you treat your financial investment portfolio. If you only put money in your retirement account once every 3 months, you will never see exponential growth. If you are relying on unstructured educational comtech apps where they just tap a screen a few times a week, you are making terrible investments. Those apps give the illusion of learning, but they yield absolutely zero cognitive return. This is why true leverage requires strict compounding. Small, 10-minute educational micro-habits compound exactly like financial interest to create an undeniable mathematical advantage for your child. A child who practices reading for 10 minutes every day receives 365 intense exposures a year. That sheer volume of active problem-solving is physically impossible for a naturally gifted peer to compete with. They literally lap the competition. We built Eleventy School precisely to exploit this exact compound interest formula. We replaced the long, frustrating worksheets with short, concentrated bursts of active problem-solving that maximize daily frequency. Because ultimately, cognitive retention is purely a function of frequency. By prioritizing this daily habit, you aren't just teaching them. You are securely compounding their independence, giving them the ultimate toolkit to break through any learning wall they ever face. If you are ready to start compounding your child's intelligence today, you need to turn this theory into action. To secure your child's foundation with our mastery-based curriculum, start your trial at eleventyschool.com. But to take the first step right now, tonight, look at your family's daily roadmap and lock in a permanent, non-negotiable 10-minute window dedicated exclusively to this habit.